Here's our crappy culture. So we have to talk about the fact that the week of Free Speech Week in Berkeley was canceled. It was canceled by the student group sponsoring the event. This was, Milo Yiannopoulos was going to go and speak, and I think Ann Coulter was going to be there, and a couple of other right-wing speakers. Milo went to the Quad, I think, where the Quad is their free speech area. It's kind of like that place in England. They have a park where if you stand on a soapbox, you can't be arrested no matter what you say because you're not standing on English soil. It's true, Then you go there and there's always some crazy guy standing on a soapbox declaiming. But they canceled this, and of course, we've all talked about the irony of the fact that the free speech movement started in Berkeley, and now, the administration says. A spokesman for the university says claims that this cancellation is somehow the outcome desired by the campus are without basis in fact. The university was prepared to do whatever was necessary to support the First Amendment rights of the student organization. But as we know from Ben Shapiro's recent appearance there, just having him go there cost thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars. We needed an infrastructure of Young America. The Young America Foundation had to provide this tremendous infrastructure, security, all kinds of coordination with the police. It shouldn't take that for somebody like Shapiro, who is basically your, conservative in the great American tradition. It should not take that kind of effort for this to happen. Even though Milo is a provocateur and definitely Anne is a provocatress in some way, that they shouldn't need that kind of structure to surround them. And when you say that the university is not to blame, the New York Times, a former newspaper, had an article called "Let Right-Wing Speakers Come to Berkeley." The faculty is divided. So students looking to the faculty and administration for guidance on how to interpret the free speech issue are seeing deep divisions among their leaders. At Berkeley, there are both unequivocal voices championing the importance of free speech, no matter how inflammatory, and professors who say lines need to be drawn on campuses. So, the one person who has stood up, by the way, is Carol Christ, who is who is now the chancellor, the university's new chancellor. I took an English class from Carol Christ when I was at Berkeley, and she was very good, but she was very young and just kind of still being formed and all this stuff. And I think that it's just interesting that she's gone on to become a fairly stalwart defender of free speech. A lot of this has to do with, there was a piece by Jean Twenge, who I think is going to come on the show soon, who writes about generational differences. And she says members of iGen, the iPad generation, have spent more time with screens and less time interacting with each other than any previous generation. And because they communicate primarily online, most of the threats they experience come through social media or text and not in person. For iGen, danger tends to take the form of words, not physical altercations. So these people think they are in danger when people are speaking to them. And I obviously think that a lot of this it's not just the iPhones and the social media. It is also these professors who have been preaching, professors and the news media who've been preaching all this time that there's their opinion, their left-wing opinions, and there's hate, right? There's no other way. There's not, oh, you want good for the black community through leftist means. Oh, you want good for the black community through right-wing means. Let's see which one is actually good for the black community, for this, neighborhood. There's nothing like that on the news. There's nothing like that on CNN, nothing like that on the networks, nothing like that in the New York Times, nothing like that in the academy. It's all their way and hate. And the left has also done this important thing. They have blurred the line between process and content, okay? Because you have the right doesn't make it right. This is what we're talking about with the NFL. Something is, you have the right to do things that are wrong. That is the way rights work. So for instance, and the way things are done is the way your freedom is preserved. The way things are done is the way your freedom is preserved. So It is process to allow free speech, but that doesn't mean you can't criticize the content of the speech. And the left constantly blurs these things. They say, well, gay marriage is right, and therefore it's good that the Supreme Court decided that gay marriage should be legal everywhere. But it's bad. No matter what you think of gay marriage, it is bad that the Supreme Court stripped the states of their rights to do this. There's nowhere in the Constitution that says the federal government has the right to say anything about marriage like this. So it is bad when you lose the process. When you lose the process, when the process is eroded, your freedom is eroded. That doesn't mean you can't debate the content. And they're constantly confusing this, and they do it on purpose. They say, well, what do you mean the NFL, like football players, can't disrespect the flag? They have a right to do it. We know that. We're debating whether it's right or wrong, and we also have the right to boycott, and we should debate whether that is right or wrong. And this is the thing that the left has done, because this is why the left no longer understands free speech, because they are so convinced of the justness of their cause, the justice of their cause, that they have decided that process doesn't matter. But process is all, because process is what defends your freedoms. And that's the way we hope we can get to the good content. You know, tomorrow, Christian Toto, our conservative movie critic, is going to be in. He's just put out an article which features me. I think me and Ben are both in it, about whether you should boycott movies. So we're going to be talking about that. Be here. The Klavan-filled week has just begun. Enjoy it while you got it. I'm Andrew Klavan. This is The Andrew Klavan Show. We will talk to you again tomorrow.